Hi friends, it's me, Miss Christina, and I'm back with some more of our Big Kid Book Club, Zoey and Sassafras, Grumplets and Pests. We are on chapter 10. If you haven't seen the videos leading up to chapter 10, please go back and watch them in order so the story makes sense. Chapter 10 is called Aphids, and I remember that aphids were crawling around on Zoey's plants. Do you remember what kind of plant it was that she was finding these little munchy guys on? She was growing kale and it wasn't ready to harvest and eat yet, but there were bugs eating little holes in them. Also, Zoey just recently figured out what a grumplet is. These little monsters that were munching also, and she's trying to figure out what they were munching, something that looked like cotton candy. And when they munched on that cotton candy, it made her friends grumpy. And I guess that's why they're called grumplets. So we'll continue to see if Zoey can solve her garden problem and if she can learn more science by investigating. She has footprints, she has sounds that she's listening for, and here she goes trying to solve this aphid problem. Chapter 10, Aphids. Let's ask Mom, Sassafras. I grabbed my science journal and peeked out the kitchen window and saw her in the garden. Mom stood up and waved when she spotted us running toward her. Hey Zoey, just the girl I wanted to see. Look, she pointed to my kale. I bent down next to Sassafras, who sniffed a leaf and purred. Oh wow, the aphids are almost gone, thank goodness. They were such pests. The thinking goggles suddenly felt tight on my head. Oh my gosh, Mom, that's it. Maybe the grumplets are forest pests. But instead of eating kale, they eat my magical friend's happiness. There she is getting an idea. The grumplets are eating happiness? What? I saw them, and you saw grumplets? Mom's eyes got wide. Yeah, they're really cute. Anyway, I saw them pulling those weird sparkly strands, which looked like cotton candy, off my friends. Do you think that could have been their joy, Mom? Interesting. That does sound like a good explanation to me. So if you're right and the pests are eating something you don't want them to, then what should we do? Mom tapped my science journal and winked at me. I plopped down in the dirt and wrote in my journal while Sassafras chased a butterfly. And then she wrote in her journal. That's her writing. She can write. Can you? Ways to deal with grumplets. 1. Pesticides. No way. 2. Pick them by hand. Ha 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 ha. I don't think I could catch them, and even if I could, where would I put them? She's thinking of some ideas here, some more ideas that she wrote. 3. Natural predator. Eek, they are annoying, but I don't want something to eat them. 4. Trap plant. Oh, that's a good idea, I exclaimed. Mom smiled. Tell me more. Well, at the market, Nina said I could try a trap plant like nasturtiums for the aphids. A trap plant is basically something yummier than the plant they are attacking. I looked over and the butterfly had flown away, so now Sassafras was chasing a grasshopper. Okay, so if the grumplets want to eat my friend's happiness, what would taste better than that? I paced around the garden. What tastes like happiness? There she is. Let's see if we can get you to see it. Sorry, my light is bright. There she is, thinking. What is she thinking about? Can you see what that is? I tasted the sweetness of the cotton candy from the fair on my tongue. Candy. Chapter 11, Pip again. Oh, Pip's been gone, remember that? Oh. Why are you shouting about candy? Called a voice from the forest, and out hopped Pip. Pip! Mom and I cheered. You were right, I told him. Grumplets were making you grumpy the other day. I really did have a bad case of the Grumplets? Pip asked. Yep, I nodded. Sassafras and I saw them causing trouble with the forest monsters yesterday. I'm pretty sure they're eating all the happiness from the magical creatures. Pip wrinkled his nose. Happiness is another weird thing to eat. Then he shrugged. Makes more sense than kale, though. I rolled my eyes. I think if we can get them to eat candy instead, they'll leave you guys alone. Dad peeked into the kitchen. Hey, honey. Mom patted my head. Sounds like you guys have this handled. Tell me what you learn later. She sneaked Pip a quick kiss and headed into the house. Pip touched his cheek and smiled, then turned back to me. So, how do we get them to eat candy instead? I said. Oh, are you willing to help me try something? Of course, he replied. Great, you two wait here and I'll be right back. Once I filled my backpack with all the stuff I needed, I set out for the meadow where the monsters had been fighting earlier. I told Pip my plan along the way. When we got there, I laid out a little napkin and a frog-sized picnic blanket and handed Pip a small bag of chocolate candy. Does he look happy about that candy? Would you be happy if someone gave you a picnic blanket and a bag of candy? I would. Then I scooped up Sassafras and hid in the bushes at the edge of the field. Oh, this is so good, Pip shouted as loudly as he could while pretending to eat a bite of candy. He looked around. Nothing. I am so happy right now, he shouted again while taking a fake bite. I'm just oozing happiness right now. This is just so much happy right here in this meadow. Is he pretending? Can you pretend to eat some candy too? Tastes so good. Oh, I'm so happy. I sighed. Maybe this wasn't going to work. Grumplets might not be interested in what he was saying, or they might be on the other side of the forest. Or... meow. Sassafras' ears pricked up toward Pip. I leaned forward, but not too much this time, and I saw the grass on the other side of Pip rustling. Yes, I shouted, Grumplets. But then Pip frowned and stood up. That was a terrible idea. Oh no, a Grumplet scampered close to Pip. Oh, is he gonna get grumpy again? It wiggled its fingers and started pulling and chewing. Other Grumplets joined in. They were eating Pip's happiness. Oh, this isn't even working, he said. Oh, he's getting grumpy. As he threw a bag of candy on the ground, the candies rolled out, and one landed on the feet of a Grumplet. I held my breath. The Grumplet looked down and poked the candy with its toe. Then it reached down for the candy. It held it up, sniffed it, sneezed, and then it ate the candy. Ah! The Grumplet rubbed its tummy and took a few more steps into the clearing and found another candy and ate it. And a nearby Grumplet let go of a strand of Pip's happiness and walked over to the candy and ate it too. Another Grumplet did the same. You are no fun to play with, Zoey, Pip stomped once and then hopped off. Sassafras and I struggled to get free to go after Pip, but I held him tight. I whispered in his ear, they don't see the candy. They didn't see the candy right away, but look. All of the Grumplets were now eating the candy. It was working. Chapter 12, Candy. Back at the house, I sat at the kitchen table and wrote in my science journal. There's her writing again. I think candy can work like a trap for Grumplets. Sassafras jumped up and snuggled into my lap. Okay, I think it could work. We just need to put candy in the forest. Or give our friends candy to throw when they start feeling grumpy. Or... she's thinking of ideas, isn't she? I looked down at Sassafras. He bumped my chin with his head. Meow. Yeah, there's no way we can actually use candy. It would get all gross in the forest. It works, but it's still not actually a solution. Great. I crossed my arms on the table and put my head down. How's Zoe feeling right now? She's been working really hard on this problem, but she doesn't have the right solution yet. Hey, kiddo. I felt a hand on the back of my head. Hey, Dad, I grumbled. It sounds like you could use a snack, huh? Meow! Sassafras leapt down from my lap and wove between my dad's legs. Dad laughed and went to the fridge. Okay, buddy, a snack for you too. When I heard the sound of a plate being set in front of me, I finally lifted my head. Thanks. He frowned. You okay? Yeah, I leaned my head on my hand, just stuck on a problem. Want any help? I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually, I said. And then I crossed my fingers under the table because I really hoped I was right about that. Dad grabbed a can of cat food from the pantry. I heard the grating sound of the electric can opener whirring. Sassafras also heard it and began prancing with joy. At least someone was happy. Why can't I just plant candy? I exclaimed. I popped a strawberry in my mouth. Dad chuckled. Good one, Zoe. Plant candy. Huh? I said through a mouthful of berry. Isn't that what you said? Dad set Sassafras's snack down. I couldn't hear you over the can opener. I thought you called your berries plant candy, which is pretty clever. I mean, they sort of are exactly that, right? Plant candy? That was it! I leapt up and gave Dad a big squeeze. You're a genius, Dad! Thanks, said Dad with one eyebrow raised as he headed back to the office. A head peeked in the kitchen. What did I miss? Asked Mom. I gave her a quick summary of everything I'd figured out. Interesting hypothesis, she said. What are you going to do next? I looked at the notes in my science journal. Well, I think I'll try what I did last time with Pip, but maybe this time I'll have him throw food toward the Grumplets from the start. That way maybe they'll eat the berries right away and leave his happiness alone. That sounds like a great plan, said Mom. Meow, said Sassafras. Oh, and if that works, we'll need to find berries we'll need to find berries in the forest. Or could we plant them in part of the forest farther away? The monsters said the Grumplets eventually move on to other places. Maybe if we get them started heading somewhere else, we can have the rest of the summer to play without grumpiness. Sassafras purred. I'll get Pip to run another test with me, but this time with berries, I said. While we do that, could you figure out if there's a patch of forest berries somewhere at the edge of the forest away from my friends? Mom smiled. I'd be happy to. All right, Sass, let's go find. I was about to say Pip when the magic doorbell rang. Sassafras and I exchanged a look and ran off to the barn. Oh, I think I want to read one more chapter. Do you want to hear one more this time? And then that means that we'll be ready for chapter 14 and we can read the end of the story next time. I know this has been a long time. If you need a break, press pause and go take a break. Go get a little snack. I don't know if you have candy. I don't have any candy at my house. Ooh, do you have strawberries or another kind of berries? That would be a good snack. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna read one more chapter right now, and then next time we'll finish this story. So this chapter is called Pip Again. What? Okay, chapter 13. I wondered if we would find a new magical creature in trouble. Okay, so the magical doorbell just rang, and that means that a magical creature is there needing help from Zoey, or it used to be her mom, and that's what she uses science to solve problems. So remember at the end of the last chapter, we just heard the magical doorbell ring. Let's see what it is. Or maybe someone else had noticed the Grumplets were making everyone in the forest miserable and had come to us for help. I opened the door and there was Pip. Sorry about earlier when I threw the candy, Zoey, he said, looking at the ground instead of me. I just had a bad case of the Grumplets, we said at the same time and laughed. Okay, it's okay, Pip. We understand. I said as Sassafras, Pip, and I shared a three-way hug. Aww. Have you come up with a solution yet? Pip asked. It's getting really bad out there in the forest. Everyone is fighting and having the worst summer ever. Don't worry, Pip, I've got a plan. Pip was excited to help, so after I grabbed my bowl of berries, his napkin, picnic blanket, and my science journal, I hopped on my head, and the three of us headed out to the clearing once again. Oh, he hopped on my head. He hopped on my head. She didn't hop on her head. Pip hopped on her head. Okay, that makes sense. We got Pip all set up, and Sassafras and I, once again, hid in the bushes. There they are in the back. There's Zoey. Oh, there's Sassafras. Okay. Oh, these berries are so delicious, Pip proclaimed. They taste just like happiness and joy and so much goodness. He's pretending again. He waved his arms about. I just do not have the words to describe their yumminess. Everyone should try these. Happy joy. Sassafras's ears pricked. The Grumplets came faster this time. I quietly clapped my hands. I gasped. Sass, look, I shouted to my cat. They are looking on the ground first. Sure enough, instead of grabbing Joy in the air first, the Grumplets were snorting and snuffling on the ground. Pip started flinging berries every which way. Oh, whoops, I'm such a sloppy eater. He's throwing his food. Ay, ay, ay. Berries are going everywhere. I held my hand over my mouth while I laughed. Oh, Pip. It worked, though. The Grumplets made their way over to the berries, and Pip had tossed everywhere and ate them. Do you see them coming? Here they come. Oh, they're so excited to try those berries. Let's see if they like them. Oh my, I am running out of berries. Ah! Pip gave me a worried look. Oh no, would these berries be enough for the Grumplets to leave Pip's Joy alone? He tossed around the final few and we all waited. I was sure that he'd storm off any minute. But then a weird thing happened. The Grumplets patted their tummies and then walked away. After they were gone, Pip hopped over to us. Zoey, it worked. I don't feel the least bit grumpy. We did it, Pip and I cheered as I hopped down while Sassafras bounded around us. It was time to try the last part of my plan. All right, friends. That's it for today. I'm so proud of you. You made it through so many more chapters. We read 10, 11, 12, and 13. And now, the next time we read, we will finish this story, Zoey and Sassafras, Grumplets and Pests, and we'll see what the last part of Zoey's plan is. I hope she solves her kale problem. Do you think she can do it? She's been working so hard. She's tried so many things. Wow, she has so many ideas just like you. Thanks for sharing this time with me, friends. I'll see you next time. Bye.